Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the Technical Trader, techtrader.com. It's Monday, December the 16th. These are the charts of the day. Well, it was an interesting day on Wall Street, and a lot of stocks that we follow, a lot of them are running. I'm obviously a little bit concerned when I see this many stocks get hot because it's usually the tail end of every move. But let's just take a look at a couple, 3 dozen of them. AEHR, which is an old swing of ours back in here that did very well for us, then did a head and shoulder a year and a half ago and came down, and it was pretty ugly for about a year. But after popping in July and pulling back again, mini base formed and it popped out big time today on a volume of 8.2 million. It's one of the biggest volumes we've seen in the last year, and it comes on a day where it broke through a mini base, through the moving averages, through a couple layers of resistance. The target next would be about 17.5 if it extends. AI been a tech trader swing of ours, and after one little reversal bar and then a pullback, I said one down bar does not make a break, and it certainly didn't, or should I say, a trend break, and it certainly didn't break support. After holding 35.5 for a couple weeks, it then rallied back, and today jumping another 3.25 or 8% plus, 42.70. That's the highest close on it we've seen all the way back here about a year and a half ago. So I'm thinking we extend. Looking for a retest of this spike high that occurred on December 10th, my birthday, at 45. That's the next target. Beyond that, 47 and 50. ASAN broke out of a little wedge pattern or Qure, or let's call it a pennant, after a breakaway gap and a 2-day run up. We had a 4-day consolidation that popped big time today, jumping 338, 14%, almost 9 million share traded. I'm now looking for the extension to 29.75 and maybe low 30s. AVGX, the ETF for Broadcom, with a strong earnings report. Yesterday gap, Friday gap, today it exploded for another 7 points to 22%, traded 2.8 million, which is big volume, 3 million for that stock. And it looks to me like there may be one more extension day coming to the mid 40s. CANG popped out of a coil today, off the trend line. Now may be headed to 6.5 and 8. CRNC swing trade, after pulling back for 3 days, bounced yesterday off support. Today it followed through with a nice 92-cent gain, up 12.5%, 1.75 million shares. Looks to me like we're going to test 9 if we get through. 11 and 12 might be targets. EOSE broke through a resistance line and popped for 64 cents and 19% gain on 21.4 million, which is big volume for that stock. I'm now looking for a run to get it to 4.75 and maybe 5.75. IONQ breaking a 1-month consolidation zone with a spike of 7 points at 21%. Volume was a hefty 44 million plus. I'm now looking for a run that takes it at 57.8. Laes exploded. It's now a 4-day move from, believe it or not, 39 cents to today's high of 346, a 9-fold increase in a week. So obviously a little vulnerable. But I think if we do get a follow through, the target would be 4. Now, it did have a pullback on a secondary announcement, but you can see the way it's stabilized and might run right back up again after a successful offering. MIND exploded a couple of days ago, pulled back, held support, and which is now around 5.5. There's your platform. Extension target 7.75. NBIS falling wedge broke out today. I think this is going to be a big number. Looking for 38, 45, and more. QBTS, fabulous chart. Multiple waves up. Today's spike, well, actually since Friday morning's 371, today's high 770. More than doubled in a day and a half. Today's volume was the biggest I've ever seen. Only 171 million shares. Huge. But normally that kind of heavy volume after multiple waves could be near a top, so be careful. QMCO with a pop and wedge, and popped out of the wedge only to form a larger one, more parallel. If I can get this above 26.575, my target's going to be low 30s and high 30s. QUBT, which is tech traded swing, broke out of a coil today and exploded for 468 at 70%. Love the way this one looks. Extension targets would be 20 and 25. QURE coming out of a wedge. That's the tech trader swing. Popped 209 or almost 14%. Volume was 3.7 million. I'm looking for this to go to 20 and 23. Rigetti popped out of a 3-day wedge, exploded on volume. This is a 242 million shares, insane. Be careful, the stocks had a run from $1.20 all the way up to $9.85 just in the last 3 weeks, so careful. RIVN coming out of a wedge today, spiking 98 cents or 7%. 58 million share traded, extension target 16.75 and 18.5. SERV may be breaking out of a big base as it popped for another $1.97 or 15%. Volume increased to 15.6 million. I think the extension takes it to 17.5 and 22. Sangamo also popped out of a 6-week coil. This looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4. The fifth wave may be starting. First objective would be targeting 315. You get to that 4.5, 3/4. Sidu with a monster move today, only traded a third of a billion shares. That's right, 336 million, jumping 263% and closing near the upper end of the range. Very impressive day today. We traded that a couple times. Let's see if we can get back to about 7. SOUN ramping. We can see many stocks look like this now. We're in a strong ramp up that could get to about the 23.4 zone. TSLL with Tesla running hard. This has now gone in just 3 weeks from 19 to 39, and it might be in the low to mid 40s in the next day or two. UAVS popping out of a falling wedge after holding support, jumped to $1.73 at 33% and 3.7 million. My extension target is $10. WKEY has gone ballistic, literally from 2 to 14, 7-fold in a week and a half. An extended volume, it is overbought. And that's take a quick look at some of the hot stocks at techtrader.com. Good night, everybody.